3, 2, 1, go.
We're going.
All
We
right.
just, yep, there we go.
Hey gamers, this is Kita, and today we're gonna watch All Dungeons 2 Pauses. That's the name of it, right?
Yeah.
Alright, other people are commentating. Please introduce yourselves.
I'm Jay Marvin. I started this whole thing by coming up with the original route and putting it up there for people to look at.
I'm Mubsy. I did like a lot of the work finding errors and stuff, and then a bunch of the tasking, and then kind of getting everything all together in the end file and then coding it.
I'm Dungeon Fire. I mostly help with the route, but I also did some tasking.
I'm ZFG. I'm just streaming this and commentating a little bit.
Yeah, I know nothing about this run. So what's a pause? And what's a dungeon?
The pause is when you press the start button and then a menu comes up with all your items and stuff.
And what's the significance of being able to pause?
You equip items with it. So by not pausing very often, you also cannot equip items very often.
It also cuts out on being able to save work all the time.
Turns out you need to use items to do a lot of things in the game. So not being able to switch to those items whenever you want is kind of difficult.
And the rules of all dungeons?
You have to beat all the dungeons by stepping into the blue warp after you beat the boss. And other than that, there's no restrictions. Beat the game after you're done.
Okay, yeah, that's probably all the formalities that you need to know for this. Also, for the record, I don't know anything about this run. Like, this is my first time watching it, so I'm probably gonna ask questions that I actually have as they come up.
And that's a good thing. Also, that gay Goron, this will be about 2.5 hours.
I'm just gonna take off the timer. Timer's not working today.
This is a LOTAD anyway, if we don't care about
Yeah.
time.
You're about to see some really optimal gameplay. Shoutouts to Nerds with Game for making the text script that saved us so much work.
Also, his collision script helped a lot with a few spots.
So why is the text in Chinese?
It's in Japanese, because Japanese is faster.
Are there any gameplay differences between JP and English?
Not in
Actually-
Ocarina of Time.
Okay. I wasn't
Not
sure about that.
relevant for this, but there's one that I know of.
So what's your main goal in the beginning here? What are you doing?
We're getting enough rupees to buy all the stuff we need for the first pause. Probably a spoiler, but...
Yeah, well, I guess pretty much everything, like including Sword and Shield, require a pause to even equip. So
This is
that's
some
something
really-
to keep in mind.
This is some really optimal rupee gathering, by the way, as you can tell.
Yeah, it looks super fast.
This is supported. It is not possible to beat this game without pausing.
This looks like gameplay from when I was 10 years old.
This
Man,
is
you're gonna buy a lot of stuff, aren't you?
yeah. I think this is the last one. Thankfully.
It's just unfortunate because we can't equip sword or anything to break bushes or slash for other rupees, so this worked out being quickest we could find out off the bat.
You missed the quick text.
We were using the text script, which apparently also missed it.
Honestly, you're not the first TAS or LOTAD that I've seen miss that. Alright, so what are we buying here?
We're buying 2 sticks, nuts, and the shield.
How many nuts do you get when you buy nuts?
15, right?
Yep.
Or no, 5.
Here's
5 for
pause
15.
1, people.
There's
Oh.
one pause.
Look, notice the lack of sword.
That means we're halfway
Whoa.
done. So this is Wes Escape. You want to get out of the forest, so you get really high speed from recoiling into the water, and then you can kind of clip into Pokey there.
The way you retain that speed is you hold just barely outside of the dead zone of the control stick, and it puts Link in the state where your speed is locked as long as you keep that position, and so it can keep that speed from the water onto land, which allows you to clip through the guard.
Mr. Marks, this is pre-recorded because it's very, very difficult to do in real time, so we worked on it using various tools.
And assistance.
Plus, if you play it live, it usually doesn't play at an accurate 60 FPS the whole time. It goes up and down, so...
Livol, you can escape the forest with no pauses if you use Crooked Cart, but we don't consider that legitimate because it's hardware manipulation. So now we got the Ocarina, and that's why we did West Escape and not one of the other forest escapes.
And this does skip the Deca Tree, but the Deca Tree does still need to be beaten. It'll just be put off until later.
Yeah, and it's important that we get the Ocarina there, even though we're not equipping it now. We'll see.
Can't skip the owl because we only have one item. We can't alternate, and we can't pause to do the backflip buffer, so we have to talk to him.
Why can't you pause to do the backflip buffer?
Because this is 2 pause.
That
Yeah,
require a
you
lot of
still have a
pauses.
free pause, dude. Oh, it takes more though. Okay, I see why now.
Whoa, this is a direction I haven't seen in a while.
The original time I tried to do that slide, I had a really crazy angle and it was going to look sick, but it kept being a teleport, so Mubsy ended up doing this.
I don't know if I've ever seen this part of Hyrule Field in my life.
I wonder where we're going.
I saw this part back in like 2006.
Fortunately, do get to skip the owl here, though.
No spoilers, JFM.
Alright, so I'm just gonna go ahead and guess that that Kuko you see on the screen is gonna be picked up.
Yeah, some of you who have already seen old runs may recognize this trick or route.
What am I watching? What's
I'm
happening?
sorry.
Well, what was that? I don't. I'm confused.
That was
So,
getting
getting
a quick draw.
Okay.
Alright, so
It's quick drawing is step.
Yeah, so the point of going in the water there is to pull out Deku Stick right before entering the water, which makes it so that the next time he pulls the Deku Stick right there, it comes out instantly instead of usually having a slow takeout animation. And by using the Cucko to do a jump off that post over to the gate, because you did that quick draw with the jump slash, you can jump slash fast enough to get onto the gate and over the gate when you're normally never supposed to as Child, and so you can get to Gerudo Fortress as Child.
It was all planned.
Another note is the gameplay does get a lot better kind of as time goes on and we got more comfortable with the tools, but the beginning is a little rough, so just bear with it.
Nerds, Mubsy did this part. Originally, it was even worse. He had like C up angle changes, and then he redid it because he was interested in doing it well.
I would have liked to see the C up.
Alright. So, as Child, you can, with a correct angle, just side hop onto a seam that you're not normally supposed to reach, so you can skip past this gate.
And then here in the Haunted Wasteland, there's this river of quicksand that, under normal circumstances, you're supposed to pass with either hover boots or the long shot, which Child Link can't use either of those, but with a backwalk over the side of the quicksand, you can make it over.
But wait a minute. How are you going to get past the Haunted Wasteland without Lens of Truth?
Get good.
Yeah,
Just
get
memorize
good.
the path, dude.
I remember watching a really old video, but I think it was like Brian MP16, who was like trying to tell you to look at the compass and look at like the direction of the triangle that it was going.
I actually do use the mini-map for certain parts of the wasteland.
I just remember that made it so much harder than like actually just looking at the environment, like the way the
Yeah.
slopes are and
I
stuff.
think a good combination of both the environment and the mini-map help. But yeah, so you're supposed to use the Lens of Truth to get past the second half of the wasteland, but as long as you know the path, you're good.
Is it possible to Hess off enemies in this game?
Yes.
Certain enemies, but I don't think. I think you can probably Z slide off levers or A slide, but not
Nerds,
Hess.
Mubsy did this part. Also, yeah, A sliding off enemies is something we do a bunch of times.
And so now with all that sequence of glitches, you're here in Desert Colossus, able to go to Spirit Temple much earlier than you're supposed to.
Okay, now I know what everyone's thinking. Back in 2006, like we've all done this RTA in 2006.
Oh yeah, totally.
So yeah, the whole point of this was so that we can get Requiem for later.
Does this cutscene always make it the same time of day
Yeah.
after?
Apparently there's this weird anomaly with the final text box, where if you leave the text box up for too long, then press A to close it, then Link's animation takes longer, and so it can change time of day by a little bit, which actually messes up certain 100% things. It's some really weird thing. But essentially, yes.
I think most songs usually set it to noon when you play.
Yeah, aside from this one, it sets it to like, I don't know, 3 p.m. or something? Something around that. Afternoon.
I forget
Oh, yeah.
casual Ocarina of Time. Is this supposed to be an adult cutscene?
Yeah, this is supposed to be an adult cutscene. You saw Link was kind of like moving up and down in that cutscene because the game is trying to make Child Link do adult animations.
So, because we can't save walk, and we can't go backwards through the haunted wasteland far as child, we kill ourselves and leave the game after saving. That way we will end up back in Kokiri Forest.
Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and guess that we're going to the Lost Woods. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it really looks like that's where we're going.
I think you're right. I think you might be right. Whoa.
Lake Hylia? Don't tell me yet, I just want to know. Oh, I'm good at this game.
Oh man. So right there, you're supposed to.
This is
You're supposed to dive there to get to the entrance to Zora's River, but you can clip through the stone with a precise jump slash.
Wait, this is Zora's River. That's what I meant to say.
Yeah.
Not Lake Hylia.
Yeah, Zora's River, Lake Hylia, totally easy misunderstanding.
It all flushes to the same body of water.
Yeah.
Alright, so here we're just going for a pretty old glitch here for getting into a certain place that a bunch of you have probably seen before.
This run has all the nostalgic glitches. I remember being a wee lad, driving home from Pizza Hut with my mom. I don't know where I was going with that. Right, continue the run.
Alright. Yeah, so you want to take this Cucco all the way up Zora's River, and this Cucco can be used for a trick at the top of Zora's River. So here at the top of Zora's River, you're supposed to play Zelda's Lullaby to open the waterfall. We don't have Zelda's Lullaby yet. I'm not sure if yet is a spoiler or not. But you can use the Cucco to get past the waterfall and enter Zora's Domain early.
I remember actually doing that glitch. That's how you know it's old.
So this is a bit of a weird glitch coming up here. Past King Zora without any other things. So we're making use of, I believe it's down A, but it sort of has the properties of water. And we're going to use that. You can see it's got a weird camera angle, and we're going to use one of the properties that gave us by throwing a nut at the same time we tried to get on the ladder. We're going to use one of the properties that gives us to get by King Zora.
This specific trick is 1.0 only. But,
yes, it is.
But yeah, this route isn't 1.0 only because you can do a slower version of that using the diving minigame.
Yeah, so basically here it's side hopping but alternating Z every other frame so it doesn't unlock where the camera is, and because of the down A / sort of blank A going on there, you're actually able to cut right through him.
And here we have the first dungeon.
The movement does get a lot better later on as we do get better, but we're kind of, the first time casting is a little bit daunting the first time you do it, so the beginning of the route's a little rougher.
Okay, so what I'm thinking right now is how are you going to hit that switch at the top?
Yeah, just you wait here. Looks like we have a decent
Almost.
JK.
Alright, let's go.
This part was done like entirely RTA in one segment too, which is why it kind of ended up staying the way, just because it was kind of an achievement of its own.
Yeah, so this is the only way to hit the switch at the top of this room. You're only supposed to use like the slingshot. You can also use like bombs or bombs or something, but in this case, no projectiles, no explosives, and so you gotta hit it with ISG with the Deku stick, which requires this hover. There we go.
That pause. It wasn't an actual pause, of course.
I think that was just the game like wasn't letting us move for a bit because we were still like kind of up and
We had to recuperate after all that hovering. It tired him out.
Yeah, that
I
skip
wouldn't
back
touch-
earlier in Zora's Domain required not having a sword, so that's why sword was skipped.
yeah, we technically could have gotten it and then just not equipped it until after that trick, but there's just not enough use we'd get out of it. A stick can do pretty much all the same things. So Jabber Jabber is pretty straightforward here. It's not really too much different than a normal run through. There's not you can really do different to get the boomerang. So
That beery target, though.
yeah, we don't like looking at Rudo.
So, right now I'm thinking, my train of thought is like, you need the boomerang to beat the boss here. So that would incur an extra pause if you were to try to beat the boss right now. I'm just thinking out loud. I don't want you to like spoil
Yeah,
anything.
that's a good thought.
This
Trust
play
me.
around.
You know, a lot of this is just waiting here. I go for a little bit of a clench jump there just to some flavor.
Nice scream. So this is the only reason you need Rudo. This switch just doesn't get pushed down if you don't have Rudo. Nothing else will push that switch down.
I always
Jeez.
wondered about the tech skip that you can like randomly get there one in like 100 tries too, but I don't think anyone really knows.
So is Rudo just the heaviest character in the game?
Yeah, pretty much. Heavier than Iron Boots, apparently.
Well, the Iron Boots can't be heavy if Link just carries them all the time.
True.
No 5 Bruto, we gotta redo it.
Dang.
On the way out here, we're just gonna be taking a bunch of damage, just because we don't have the ability to save warp normally. And we're kind of trapped behind King Zora here. There's not really any way to get by him without explosives or anything, so good luck getting back home. So as you can see here too, we're actually just leaving this dungeon right now. We're not even finishing it. And we're leaving here with half a heart on purpose. We purposely took a bunch of extra damage leaving there, which is why it kind of looked a little weird, just so that we'd have a really low health timer here for going underwater and drowning.
I was actually thinking right as you were leaving, like, I don't remember any enemies in Child Zora's Fountain. How are you gonna die?
Yeah, the only way
Yes.
we could kill ourselves here was to actually drown, so we had to take a lot of damage on the way out, purposely, just
There's
so that we
actually-
could die quickly.
There's a gold Skulltula in the tree. If you
Oh yeah, that's true.
roll
Oh
into
yeah,
the tree.
but that probably would have been slower than just taking a bit of
Yeah.
damage and drowning.
Yeah, that's why we did the drowning, because gold Skulltula is slow. So now you gotta keep doing stuff as child.
So for the menuing, did you use pause or the start button, or did you just like use A for everything?
Just a yeah. You
Yeah,
don't need
you
to press
can
start
use
for
it.
that menu.
I know you don't need to, but I mean like you could have.
Oh, just for the sake of the low pause counter. Or the low
Yeah,
start
I mean,
button counter.
Just like only
Start
pressing start
input
twice.
isn't a start input isn't the same as a pause either.
Correct. That was just curious.
Round 2 with this guy. So where are we going now? Should be clear.
Kakariko.
That's right. We got the extra stick in Zora's domain just for that owl skip.
Okay, I'm gonna guess you're gonna do Kuko Bottle. 'Cause that's what
That's
everyone
correct.
that comes here does. That
We
wasn't
want to
even
get a
guess.
bottle.
That's just like that's the only thing
We
this
wanna
village
get a
has to
bottle.
offer.
And this is actually, I believe, the only bottle we can get within reason. We could go get the Rudo bottle, but then it has the letter in it, and we can't get rid of that without pausing and so forth. And we could go get the milk bottle, but we couldn't get rid of the milk without pausing and so forth. And we could get Po bottle way down the line, but that would be an entire process. So
And would require another bottle itself, so
yeah,
We can't get milk bottle because no waking up the guy.
oh yeah, that's also true. The guy is beating us up the stairs. This is a LOTAD.
Tool assisted. So how many re-records did this section take?
We did this whole thing in segments, so the re-record count didn't come out, like, accurately. And so we have no idea, but there were a lot of re-records. This segment, I think, might have been... I think Dungeon Fire did it.
I think Mopsy redid it. If I remember correctly.
Oh, I didn't touch Kako's. Mine would have been faster.
This
Okay,
went through
that's-
several
I want to
stages.
throw everyone under the bus.
Okay, guys,
I want to
I
take
did it.
responsibility.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, and okay, in that case, I'm sorry.
We got the
Whatever.
bottle, that's what
You know,
matters.
this was at the beginning when we were still getting used to tassing, so things improved a lot by the end.
Okay, I guess that actually was literally the only reason we came to Kakariko.
Yep. We
Yeah,
now
Pablo is just too important.
we now have almost everything that we need before we go adult. And the last thing may be obvious.
Wait, don't tell me. Don't tell me. Rupees. No, shield. Eileen shield.
Yep. And we can get that right in the market. So
You know, you could like get double red rupees from the chains.
Well, you could only get 3 total before reloading, so that'd only add up to 60. Wouldn't be enough for the 80 rupee shield.
You know, something I never liked about this game is that you can get a discount for the shield, but you need 80 rupees to even get it. So it's pointless.
Yeah. Also, the discount is random, which I've always thought was really dumb.
Wait, I thought it was
Yes.
always 40 rupees.
No, it's a random discount. You pay for the shield, and then I think it's anywhere between like 70 and 40 rupees total that you can get discounted, or like
Wait.
I forgot the exact numbers, but like it's pretty stupid.
Okay, I need a citation on this one. This is too mind-blowing for me.
look at that hot dot skip setup right there. So we're doing swordless, of course, because we don't have the sword.
Okay, according to Purple Photon, it's any multiple of 5 between 5 and 45.
I said a citation, not a chat viewer.
I promise that it's most likely accurate.
So now we can go adult, but you may realize, once we're adult, how are we going to get past the door of time the other way?
Yeah.
You know,
Well,
Usually you would
we have
save
like
warp.
5 minutes to figure it out, so...
usually you would save warp, but that takes a pause, so we can't do that. But if you go over all the things we've done so far, there's one large item that will be of use to us. Or not really an item, but one task we accomplished as child.
So because we helped the Kuka lady with her allergies and got the bottle, she'll be very grateful for us. So we'll keep knocking on the door of time. She'll hear
Chat.
it in the distance.
Chat has, of course, figured it out.
I'm not looking at the chat, I don't want to be spoiled.
Obligatory mention that whatever the Sage of Light's name, I can't remember it.
Raru.
He has a Triforce on his forehead.
Oh yeah, look at his forehead here, everyone. Triforce forehead.
Tri-forehead. Okay, I have a philosophical question for everyone here. So in this game, Link starts as a kid, but then like he sleeps for 7 years or whatever. I don't know what, but he turns into an adult. So, does he still have the mind of a child? Like, is he still technically a child? Or is he an adult now? Like, mentally?
I
Like,
don't know.
theoretically, could he date adult Zelda and have it be ethical?
Chat consensus seems to say yes. And of course, Twitch chat is the best source for ethical questions.
What did I say about Twitch chat and primary sources? That is not a citation. Also, if he is a kid mentally, does that mean he could date Saria, who's a kid physically, but Saria could be like 100 years old or something? Like, we don't even know how old Saria is.
These are all
Seeing
very
as
good
she's
questions. That
seeing as
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, seeing as she's the Sage of Forest, She's probably been around a while. Anyway, we have the light medallion now.
Back to the run.
Almost.
Wait, yeah, when does it actually give you the light medallion in this cutscene?
I'm pretty sure it's the fade in to the Chamber of Sages part.
I wonder who this mysterious Sheik character could be.
I assume that the white medallion was given to you when it says you got the white medallion text box. But that's just me.
The thing about
think
cutscenes
so.
in this game is that they often are not what you expect them to be doing.
Yeah, usually for most cutscenes you get an item at the beginning of a cutscene or like sometimes during a certain part of the cutscene, but it's usually not like right when you Link holds something over his head.
Here it is, folks.
Okay, yeah, that's the
why
solution.
we had to go get Requiem, because we would be stuck here otherwise, and conveniently it's where we need to go now anyway.
We could jump/clip into the corner.
And also something to note about your C items when you become adult. When you become adult, the game always auto-equips Deku Bombs, and Ocarina. As long as you have Deku and Ocarina, they will be equipped. Bombs will always be equipped no matter what, even if you don't have them. And so, thankfully, just becoming adult doesn't require pausing to equip the Ocarina.
Alright, folks. I hope you like the Gways.
I
I
hope you
love
like-
the ways.
I
I
hope
consider
you like-
myself an ally.
I hope you guys like this music. I'm sure you all like it, right? You'll be listening to it for a while.
If you need to call your mom, or use the bathroom, or file your taxes, or something, this is
Or
the
write a
time.
book.
Yeah, this is the one part of the run. If you've got something you need to do, maybe get it done.
Unless you just really like the Gerudo music, you're not going to be missing much.
I have my video muted, so I don't even hear any music. I don't
That's
even remember
unfortunate.
what music is playing.
So, you may be wondering why we're doing this ridiculously long hover. Well, there are two things that are up there on the hands. One is the mirror shield, and we need that, but not yet. The other is the silver gauntlets. Now, why would we need the silver gauntlets? So, if we want to use bombs, we have them right now. If we want to use bombs, we have to go get them. The only place you can get bombs is that one chest with the bomb bag in Dodongo's Cavern. But to get into Dodongo's Cavern, you either have to wrong warp, which it can't be done at the moment, or you have to blow up that first wall that's blocking the entrance. And so we could either buy blue fire, but then we wouldn't be able to use it without pausing, or we could use the bomb flower to blow up that thing. But the problem is, to lift the bomb flower, you need a strength upgrade. Now, there are 3 strength upgrades. There's the Goron bracelet, the golden gauntlets, and the silver gauntlets. We can't get Goron bracelet because you need to play Saria's song, and we don't have Saria's song, and we couldn't get it at the moment if we wanted
It's like
to.
getting Zelda, which, is its own issue.
And we can get gold gauntlets, hypothetically, if we were to wrong warp, but we would be wasting that wrong warp, and it would not be good.
And we don't really have a way to get to the chest. If we did get to there, we don't have any explosive software or launch yet to
Yeah.
use.
So if we want to use bombs, and we actually need to use bombs, we have to get a strength upgrade, and this is the only one that we can get, and this is the only way we can do it without pausing.
Alright, with permission, I'd like to read a piece of literature. A small excerpt.
Denied.
Damn.
Maybe a little bit.
You see how it is.
I'll keep this really brief. Wow, thank you, said Sonic and Knuckles Jr. at the same time in the middle of the night. No, that is not how you thank me, said the lunch lady. When the lunch lady lived in Bangladesh as a young woman, She learned about the ancient tradition of sex thinking, and she explained it all to Sonic. So you want me to give you sex with my mouth? Said Sonic to the lunch lady.
Alright, I think that's enough. I think we heard enough of Sonic High School.
Kita, you have my permission to read the story.
Likewise.
I'm getting mixed signals over here. I'll skip a little ahead. Sonic looked at the lunch lady's vagina, and it looked like a sideways piece of lasagna in between two dogs walking down and away from it. Sonic thought her vagina was really...
Oh my god.
It's loved Sonic's abilities. Sonic nibbled.
Oh my god.
Chat, should I leave him muted or unmute?
Please unmute him.
I mean, we've got nothing else to do for a while.
Unmute. Alright.
I'll skip ahead a little bit. It was really dark inside her vagina because there weren't any lights, but it was...
Muted again.
So this takes forever because we have to wait for the key for the Gwei to respawn every time, and then to find us, and then to fly over, and that's like
Sometimes it
a
doesn't
40-second
die.
cycle.
Sometimes it sticks around and does a few swoops, which is good before it comes in at an angle where you can't really avoid killing it.
You may notice that the thumbnail for this run was a picture of the start of this hover, and now you know why.
Yeah, big spoiler over there.
It does get faster as it goes on, though. Once you get higher up and are closer to the Gwei spawning point, it finds you a lot faster every time because you're a lot closer, so it does speed up as you get higher. Also, there's a Mega Gwei.
I love the Mega Gwei. Please tell me it's the final one.
I think there's a Mega Gwei right before the final one, but he came in like a way that he just couldn't live to the final.
Dang.
Yeah. He like came in like with a swoop right from underneath, and like it was hard enough not to get knocked out of air, let alone keep him alive.
Yeah, so
There's
those
going to
who
be
don't
a
know-
really
Go ahead.
there's going to be a really exciting bit in the middle where he gets onto the stone thingy.
Yeah, so for those who don't know about the Mega Gwei, when you kill enough Gweis, a Mega Gwei appears. A Mega Gwei is just a Gwei, but really big. And that's it. But it's really cool.
Can I read like a really safe for work sentence?
One sentence.
Okay. What are you doing, idiots? Shouted Vector. How did you get in here? That window, bitch dick, said Sonic as he felt a sudden rage build up inside of him, like the foam from cream soda going over the top of the glass when someone pours it like an idiot ass. Alright, that's all.
Alright,
That is
that's
quite
about
the
it.
sentence.
Yeah, there's also Mega Levers, and there's also Stealth children that I don't think there's not like one specific Mega Stat child, but if you continue killing Stealth children in Hyrule Castle or Hyrule Field, they keep getting bigger and bigger.
Many Guays were harmed in the making of this task.
That's unfortunate.
Sorry,
Actually, not
LOTAD.
really. They kind of deserve to die.
This is a toucan stream now, folks. Hello, YouTubers that bothered to sit through this entire section instead of just skipping to the end.
You guys are the true heroes.
They're just taking their bathroom breaks.
Well, yeah, but if they were taking their bathroom breaks, they wouldn't be hearing this right now.
They left their wireless headphones on.
In the bathroom.
Maybe they're watching on mobile.
Yeah.
If anyone is watching this Guay hover on mobile in the bathroom, please leave a comment on the video.
If anyone's on the bathroom right now, let me know.
Like how chat's counting the number of Guays that have died.
Has anyone been counting the day-night cycles that have passed so far?
I
think
used
this
to
is the
know
second
what it
night.
was when I first did it. I feel like we're probably on like 6 or 7 by now.
Can this be done before the moon crashes?
Yes.
I wonder.
Oh! Oh!
Oh my god.
A thing happened.
This is probably about 2/3 through the hover, because it does speed up. As I said, once you get higher, the hovers are every like 10 to 15 seconds then, usually. Sometimes faster.
That was the variety I needed in this hover. It was getting a little stale, but now it's fresh again.
Yeah, new camera angle and everything.
That
Yeah,
Guay
get that
lived.
And
nice
we
inverted
saved a
camera.
Guay.
Yeah,
this is the thing. This is the thing that is essentially unrealistic to do RTA. Like, if you want to do this RTA, I mean, you're welcome to try. You're welcome to get very frustrated, but it might take a while.
Yeah, everything else you could probably make some kind of setup for, but this part here, because of the R&D involved and the fact that later on Link's not on camera most of it, you know, would be a little too hard to actually get the hover off RTA.
By
Can
the
you
way,
target a Guai to have a good camera?
if you're a fan of Guay hovers, you want to know another trick that is very Guay hover heavy. It's actually possible to get fire arrows as child using a very big Guay hover, where you hover from the little pond where you make water appear. You have to hover from that area all the way to the Silver Gauntlets chest entirely with Guays. Takes a few thousand Guay hovers and makes getting fire arrows possible as child by using GIM with the Silver Gauntlets chest. Good luck to anyone that ever wants to do that on console. Good luck to anyone that wants to task that.
I was gonna ask, did anyone ever make a video of that?
I think the only video I know of is a video that just starts really high in the air. That doesn't actually have all the Guay hovers going up.
Yeah. The best way to get it done was honestly to just have a movie on and just kind of have the game playing and wait until you saw yourself get hit and then go back like 5 seconds. So you could probably apply the same thing to that and get it done in like a day's effort. You know, an entire season or 2.
So you're saying like Netflix and chill while doing the
Yeah.
TAS?
Basically.
if you're wondering about the timing, because there's no timer, we started at 3 p.m. EST, 12 p.m. PST.
The video is 50 minutes in right now, just past 50 minutes. So there's that. The timer just wasn't working earlier for some reason. It was lagging pretty hard, and I've never had live split lag before. So I'll just skip it for now.
There's only about another 9.5 minutes, I think, until we can finally get on with the rest of the action.
What is this box with like a cloud that everyone is posting?
It's box movement. You wouldn't understand.
Uh,
You ever hear of Trev person?
yep.
He has this very serious condition where he can only move in the form of 90-degree angles in real life. It was troubling at AGDQ. Like everyone had to like manually spin him around so that he can walk through doorways.
Did you guys know that Trev people can spot 90-degree angles with subatomic accuracy?
We
The
did.
first pause was for equipping Deku-Nuts and Deku-Sticks as child. And we have not paused since then.
Also, we equipped Deco Shield. I don't know if you said that, but I didn't hear it.
Yeah, we did equip Deku Shield.
Yeah, all of this wouldn't be possible without it. No shield, no hovers.
Well,
Although
now
I
we're
guess we're
adults,
adult
so
now, but-
auto-equipped Hylian Shield when we became adult.
Yeah,
And-
Hylian Shield gets auto-equipped as adult, so you don't need to pause for it.
In the route document, we called the automatic adult equips pause 1.5 as a way of noting that everything changes. But it's not a pause. It's not actually a pause.
Do you really
Like a
want to go
half
down the
A
rabbit
press.
hole of a half pause?
Of a half A press.
I didn't think so. I would just call it just auto equip. Leave it at that.
Unless TJ Henry Yoshi is watching, I'm not so worried.
I see the chest. That's the chest we're going for.
There's also
Almost
another
there.
chest that's off screen, but it's a little higher up on the statue.
Uh-huh.
This hover has been going for, I think,
About
17 minutes.
I only think 13. About 13. No. 16. Yeah. But we appreciate everyone for sticking through this part. It's almost over, and after that, there's apart from cutscenes, it's pretty much all action.
This hover made me appreciate how much better Majora's Mask looks than Ocarina of Time. This scenery is so boring. It's all the same color. Like Desert Colossus is just really ugly.
Luckily, it has the best music in the game.
I like the Lakeside Lab music. It's
Yeah,
also
pretty
like
good.
the Poe guy, the Poe bottle guy is the same music.
The Iros, I think no dungeon has been done so far.
The dungeon has been completed.
Yeah.
We're still setting up to do our dungeon completions.
Once we start, getting them done, they usually get done pretty rapidly after.
Getting closer.
It's just that having bombs is pretty much pivotal for a lot of the other things we do, so.
Trust us, if there was another way to do what we need to do, we would not have done this hover. But there is no other way. Is that day 3 or day 4?
I think it's a lot more than that.
I think it's day 4.
How long is a full day-night cycle?
3 minutes, I think.
Does this hover take over or under a week?
Much less.
If it's 3 minutes for a full day-night cycle, then over a week.
Dang.
Oh, I thought you meant real time.
Link had to grind really hard for this view.
Slowly but surely, we are
So
closing the
what we're
gap.
doing now is just making it to the left enough.
Please tell me you could just like mega flip off a Gwei to this
Yeah.
chest.
We definitely
Yeah.
will mega flip over there, so once we get
Okay.
lined up, then basically, I'm pretty sure we get it done during this night cycle here.
Oh, was that
Here's the
Megagway?
last mega
That was the Mega Glay. He's gonna come back.
Yeah, he made some pretty nasty swoops at me.
The ZFG Toucan has a whole new meaning now.
Alright, those of you doing your taxes and getting married, hurry up, because there's not much more.
Yeah,
Also,
we probably could have done this quicker, but this was once it was done, no one wanted to redo this.
I don't blame you.
Like what I know now about, you know, hovering with Kikiris and getting, you know, flips in different directions and everything to hover with now, as opposed to when I did this, is night and day, so. But, I mean, it works. We get there.
There's Megagway. Look at how big he is. Oh my god.
He's saying hi to
Yeah.
YouTube.
That swoop right there, that one there, it was so hard not to get knocked out of the air from that one there. I had to do like a backward side hop not to get knocked out of the air.
This hover is about 22.5 minutes.
That is excessive. That's like the longest of any meme
Yeah,
run.
like, I think if I did it now, I could maybe get it done in like 16-ish, maybe 17, but not too much better than that.
I think low percent Stone Tower and MM still holds the record though, right, for longest hover?
yeah, it's like 25, right?
Yeah, but dang, it's close.
I made up a category which has a 29-minute keys hover, almost 30.
Oh, was that the Megaton Hammer, no explosives?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was nice.
Reminder that Poe hover in Inverted Stone Tower was only like 6.5 minutes, because I'm a nice guy.
I think this might be it. I think we're lined up, but we might
Oh
need
my
to go
god, the
on
Mega
before-
We did it.
Thank God.
It's over.
Here it is, folks. Silver Gauntlet. It's already
dang.
on.
Low percent MM Stone Tower
Danny
hover was
B's
only
wrong
14
one.
minutes. Dang.
We didn't have the heart piece, no wrong warp.
This cutscene is gonna seem really fast now after that hover.
Everything
look at
is
how fast
his
relatively
camera's
fast.
This was all a psychological trick. We didn't actually have to do that guy hover.
Now this task is gonna look like a task doing a task, like a begin
How often
task.
do you get to actually see this cutscene too? I mean, come on.
Yeah.
What categories get silver gauntlets. I don't think any of them do.
Glitchless.
Glitchless? Oh yeah, glitchless.
Glitchless
does.
isn't real. That's
Like
not a real thing.
bingos, I guess.
Uh-oh.
Desync. Gotta restart.
Reamer, your health.
Okay, do you have to hover again to get the mirror shield or what?
Don't ask that right now.
There's another 23-minute gray hover later. No, there's not.
We did this whole hover so that we could get bombs. Don't worry.
We are not that cruel.
Things kind of pick up in the run and start looking more tassy around Death Mountain Trail.
I'll be the judge of that.
But we have a few good RTA rolls for your viewing pleasure right now.
That's what I like to see, though. Like, this is LOTAD. Like, when I see Zelda, I don't want to see, like, a whole bunch of side hops all fast and stuff. I want the player to slow down and enjoy the game. Just play the way a normal person would.
You
How
are
else are you
gonna
going to pay
enjoy
attention to the two paths narrative? There's a really long story, and even if you can read Japanese, it'll be up on it.
Kida, if you don't enjoy side hops, you will like my sections.
Aw, yeah.
I side hop pretty
okay,
much
wait.
everywhere when it's faster.
Does anyone like side hops? Does anyone watch side hops and like,
I think they're
Yeah.
kind of nice. Sometimes.
It's not as bad as like a minute-long Z-slide.
So notice here we're getting the pocket egg. That probably won't seem intuitive, but it'll be entirely required later.
That's some foreshadowing. There is a pretty good plot to this category.
Look at this. This is next level.
Very nice inverted camera.
Alright, this is like the first actual Tassie trick coming into the run, besides, I guess, Gwei Hover, but
Oh man, A slide.
Beautiful.
yeah, A slide into a Z slide so that we could turn into there.
So, you know what I like to call the A slide into a Z slide? The alphabet slide.
Nice. So we did that entire hover, the whole Gwei 23-minute hover, just to lift that one bomb flower.
And also, what happened
I
with
hope you feel
leaving
satisfied.
Dodongo's cavern right there is it skips a cutscene. By leaving Dodongo's cavern right as the wall blows up, it skips the cutscene of the camera panning around.
Alright, this should be the first dungeon for real. If you don't beat this dungeon, I'm just gonna take a lap around my house.
No spoilers.
Yeah, don't answer me, because I'm putting on my running shoes just in case.
So, also we have to lift this bomb flower. Although you could do it other ways.
What other ways could you do it?
Well, you could get bombs a different way rather than going through the dungeon, but since we can't pause, we don't do that. Like, you know, in ZFG's Hondo runs, he does the infamous Doom Jump, but we can't pause to equip/get hookshot.
Love the gainers up the stairs.
That was Mubsy, all him.
There's a few spots that gainers are used.
What is that half switch?
Oh, is that from targeting the keys and using Navi on the keys? Does
Yeah,
that let
it
you
is.
move in the cutscene earlier?
Yeah, I think it cuts the actual door cutscene time down by a little bit and makes you able to gain control faster because Navi kind of cancels the cutscene.
Yeah. That's cool.
Here we go, bombs and bomb bag.
Never seen it used with that switch before. A half switch press.
So we're not gonna bother with the head because who wants to watch that cutscene twice?
Twice.
Both eyes.
Yeah, so with a mega flip you can clip right into the head and without lighting the eyes, and then from there you can do a precise jump into jump slash to open the door without opening the head. And right there, you fall on the switch and target a keys and use Navi to check the keys. At the same time you hit the switch, which allows you to move during the cutscene and get to the door before it closes again. You're normally supposed to hold down that switch with a block.
Alright, I'll give it to you. The movement has upgraded from Clint Stevens to ZFG.
Why have a setup if this is TAS? Asks UUUU 6210. The answer is because we're lazy and it's easier to do the setup than to like figure out the precise angle and get it in one frame. Also, that was supposed to be some kind of like Hess or something, but it didn't work, so I just rolled with it. And of course we bounce the bombs off the wall because it's cool.
Good, good.
I never understood the physics of how King Dodongo dies in that lava. Like he just seeps through the floor somehow.
Girls Gaming Generation, Hylian Shield does not cost a pause. If you go adult and you have the Hylian Shield, then it auto-equips it.
And so that's the first dungeon done.
And this cutscene is amazing as adult. So, you're lucky we get to see this.
Sadly, we don't have iron boots equipped.
Oh yeah?
Or fortunately.
I would have allowed an extra pause for that.
Like how he just like assaults Link there and then acts like he's his best friend.
Alright, we're at one dungeon, one pause. One mic.
2 silver gauntlets. 100,000 dead gways.
2 brothers. What are they holding?
Each
Should
other.
be the Goron Ruby.
Doesn't look like anything in particular.
And then, yeah, one burned memory of Sideways Lizard. Wait, no. Look at Link get short here.
That child scream, so good.
And then even though they chase him up the mountain here, because you're adult, you actually start down here.
So this is a Hess.
So you can finally start moving fast.
Fortunately, now that we do a bombs, we can do everything a lot faster.
Okay, what was that roll?
That was just to get an angle on the fence.
Let me remind you that you have TAS tools at your disposal. Just want to point that out.
Alright, so that clip right there was a ground clip. If you mega flip or mega side hop at the right place against that specific wall, you'll clip out of bounds. And you can use that to get into Darunia's room early when you normally need to blow up the Goron, who gives you the Goron tunic to open the door there.
And we release A on the right frame to actually release the statue and be able to move at the same time. Here I was trying to get a really swag jump from off of there to get the CS skip here, but I wasn't able to get the position right from that beam up top.
Well, that was half cool.
Yeah, and there he grabbed the edge of the bridge at the same time that the cutscene started, which causes this glitch where Link continually falls and goes through the floor. And by falling out of bounds and voiding out during the cutscene, you skip the cutscene to get the song.
And it's a mega flip and a Z slide. And another has to get in here.
I wasn't mentally prepared for Fire Temple this early. I had to collect myself.
So we kill the Gwei there and get full health because we will need it. We only have 4 hearts, and the timers here will play a factor in what we can do.
We have no way of skipping this Darunia cutscene without pausing, unfortunately.
Yeah, we do end up coming through here again, so it's okay, but
Just everything slow that happens, you could just say like, well, I didn't want to pause, so... So you're delaying the timer by like pressing Ocarina
yeah,
as you
you
side
don't
hop?
really need to do it in this room. It's just kind of just because. This room we do have more than enough time to escape. It's more for the one room later on where you have to push the block onto the lava beam because your timer keeps from the room before there. And since we don't have hookshot either to go up that, it definitely does cut down on the amount of time we have.
What was that?
That was an amazing test.
It was to go faster for like 2 frames, pretty much. It's
Pretty easy.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. I don't even care if that was slower. That could have been slower. I still like that.
Cacboon TV, there's a lot of things you can't get without a third pause. Repause is an incredibly complicated run, and you should totally watch it at some point if you haven't.
Yeah, if you're enjoying this run, or at least will enjoy it by the end, please look up 100% in 3 pauses on YouTube. It's a great run.
The thing to note here is that I took 2 hearts of 2 pieces of damage, so half a heart. But we're just gonna roll with that because I like a challenge.
I like a challenge too, baby.
This will be 3.5 hearts with no hook shot, which was it gets down pretty tight. I think there was a 2-frame window. I had to open the door. So this is probably the most butt clench part of all of Fire Temple.
Yammy House or Jammy House. A pause is when you press the start button to open up your menu with all the items to equip things. And we only do it 2 times, and we beat all the dungeons.
I swear every answer, like every chat person you answer has like the funniest name possible.
So this part here gets right down to the wire here. A lot of timers stopping here to make it work out. Catching the block on the way up for a ride.
Look at that, 1
It
second
with
on
2
the clock.
frames before we burn to death.
Link's left arm can phase through walls.
Did you intentionally blow up that floor?
No, that was just kind of a side result of flipping over there, just to get there a little bit quicker than jumping around on the tops of these to make it there. But it also hit the fire slug and kind of scared him away, which was nice, because then he wasn't there to bother me later.
The one pause so far was for equipping Deku Stick, Deku Shield, and Deku Nuts as child. And there has not been a pause since.
Yes, Happy Wheelchair, the second pause is to buffer a Hess.
Okay, yeah, no one knows what the second pause is. Not even anyone here. That like we're all on the edge of our seats, actually.
Not even the people who did it know.
We made this, and we're not sure where it's gonna be.
Yeah, so this part here is pretty standard Fire Temple. There's not really too much you can do to speed up this stuff here, because it's all little platforms nobody really has. This one here got pretty close to hitting that rock there. Deked it at the last moment. We're able to skip the firewall there by taking fire damage. If Link's already taking damage from the fire there, he can't take it again, and you can actually just jump through that wall without hitting the switch. And then we face the flare dancers just using bombs to damage them down, since we have no hookshot.
So, if you don't have hookshot or bombs, can you beat the flare dancer, or is there no way?
There's these really weird crouch stabs I think you can do to like the corner of the platform or something, but they take forever to do.
I want to see a video of
Really?
that.
I've never heard of that.
Yeah, I think it takes like 10 minutes to beat one of them then or something.
Interesting.
I'm not sure the exact specifics. I know it's just like these weird crouch stabs.
Happy Wheelchair. Sorry.
The thing is, though, is you can't get to that fight there without some kind of explosives unless you do that 29-minute keys hover. So it's rarely going to come up that you'd have to fight them without explosives or hookshot.
Yeah, like Andy Panther asks, why no explosives-less hammer? We need explosives for a lot of other things too, so there's no point in going through the long process for explosives-less hammer.
Yeah, plus we already have them equipped by default as an adult, so we might as well make use of them.
Oh, these side hops. Oh, okay. I'm glad that's over.
Web hammer BA would require actually 2 pauses. One is child to set up the stuff, and one is adult to set up the stuff. So whether or not we do that should be
Yeah, that would make a minimum 3 pause, because you can't escape forced without having done a pause. So if you do that, then you'd need to do another one as child to equip your C-Rite item. So then we save warp there, and here we're going to actually take a lot of damage again, so it does look a little weird because we get our butt kicked in the fight, but it's all on purpose.
I swear, guys.
I was only pretending to be bad.
This one lone slug decided to make a break for freedom, but we got him. So by bringing myself down to 3/4 of a heart here, the flare dancer can do quarter heart. Sorry, half heart. I can get down to a quarter, which will make things a little bit faster later.
I'm still waiting for the pocket egg to come into play.
GBH Michael, you'll see what we do. Be patient. But yeah, it's probably worth saying that this route, ignoring a few order considerations where you could do things in a different order is the only way to do 2 pause all dungeons.
Yeah, I think there's like a few little things we could, like, by the time we finished it and got everything done, we might have been able to reroute a few things to do earlier the route where it's a little better, but we didn't really know if it'd be something we needed at that point. So now that we have a quarter heart, we can actually just go here, and we'll just have a 2-second timer to burn and die. And
Very
that way we
close.
can save warp again without having to hit start. See here, a little bit better movement going through the marketplace.
Look at all this character development. Like, we're seeing the runner get better as time goes on.
That is a
So we have
nervous
the first
hiss.
nervous hiss. That can be done by alternating your ESS position between left and right S every other frame.
We had to spam the map at least once.
Shoutouts to Mr. Gruns.
Yeah. This was originally Marvin's segment here, but then I had to hijack it when we realized that we needed rupees.
Yeah, so I did
the
exactly
disease.
half of that hiss.
And we need these rupees here for something that we didn't really realize we were going to need until after we kind of got where we were going and had to backtrack quite a bit, so you'll see what that's for soon.
A fairy.
Whoa.
I was
That was
joking!
a good guess.
Okay.
Should probably buy a lottery ticket today. Actually, that was probably it for all your luck.
Well, that was somber. My luck just ran out.
To all the people saying no doors is fantastic, yes it is. And it was so good that it had me thinking about Zelda for like weeks, and that's how this route was born.
I don't know if my internet's being stupid lately, guys. You can try to do something to try to fix doing it. At this part here, we actually weren't able to go for Super Slide Teleport because we do have a strength upgrade. So we would actually just grab the bush and wouldn't teleport back to it. So we did have to do a hover up the side here to get to Shadow Temple. Saving the explosives isn't really something we're too worried about in a task, as long as we have enough to do what we need to do before we get somewhere that RNG could give us more, because we can just force RNG to be on our side and make sure that we always have bomb shoes, or sorry, bombs.
Did you say bombs? Like from Mario?
No, bombs.
Oh,
It's in
okay.
regular. I think my internet's been going in and out.
I'm gonna steal that though. I'm gonna start calling them bombs.
Bombs.
Alright, like my status if this fight freaked you out as a kid.
You might be wondering why we're taking some damage here. See shortly. We're using a bomb here to get entry point glitch here to change where we enter the room at. Side hopping there to change the actual position. We're gonna get a specific carry hover here to get ourselves out of bounds. And now because we're out of health, we're actually able to zombie walk the beginning there and get a side hop off down here and make use of that fairy, even though we never actually equipped the fairy there. We did have the empty bottle and we're able to use that to get down to the basement.
Yeah, when you're out of health and you respawn and you're instantly in the air, you can just walk in the air like that.
Yeah, there was the only other possible way would have been something similar to the no doors task, but that seemed a lot harder to hover around there, and they used bomb shoes to unlock their camera, so that was just definitely the best manner. Here we're just using the 1.0 and 1.1 glitch on Bongo to kill him quickly and skip the cutscene.
Oh man.
Real high effort fight there.
Yeah,
How
we
many
could have gone
reappearances
for
that
crouch
fight?
stabs, but
I love that he doesn't even make sound when he dies.
does someone want to explain how that Bongo glitch there works a little bit, or?
Yeah, so you drop a bomb down the hole, and it hits Bongo's like unloaded or half-loaded hitbox, and so it just stuns him before the fight even begins, and before he's like fully loaded, and it disables the cutscene that happens when you fall down also. So you just fall down the hole, no cutscene, big invisible hitbox right in front of you. You just hit it a lot and he dies.
Okay, I have two questions. Question one: why do we get the heart container?
You will see later on. I don't want to spoil you.
Well, heart containers,
I don't
extra
think we really
hearts.
needed them much.
Extra hearts give you extra time either in heated areas or underwater. I assume it might be one of those two things. Probably more one of them than the other.
We get more hearts than we need in this run too. We weren't really sure how many we were gonna need, and we didn't want to do a bunch of the run.
Well, that's something you keep a secret. Like, no one would have known that if you didn't just say
Oh,
that.
they'll know that by the end. Trust me.
Alright, my second question is, why are we watching this cutscene?
No bottle, so no bottle equipped means no cutscene skip.
That's a good reason.
Yeah, I'll take that.
Even if we had a bottle, we needed to use the ferry in it to get down here, so unless we had two bottles, it wouldn't have even been an option.
So did you notice that, like...
Nice standing there.
That was all RNG manipulation.
Uh-huh. Oh, it probably really was, wasn't it? Yeah. Alright.
I'm just realizing now that, like, hardly any of the characters age in this game except Link. That's messed up. Like, everyone just looks the same 7 years later.
Alright, now that we have bombs, we are just finishing up a lot of stuff that we can do with our current equips.
Okay, yeah, several characters age, but relatively, most characters don't. That's what I'm getting at.
The Kokiris at least have like an in-game reason for not aging.
Alright, so we are doing hovers to get on the seam, so we can enter the deco tree, because if you skip past the loading pane, the mouth of the deco tree is unloaded and you can just walk right into him.
What am I looking at? What is this? What are you doing?
It's a crazy setup. I tried for about 8 or 9 hours finding an exact like pixel perfect position for the ground clip and couldn't get it there. So I ended up going with a really old unlisted Neko video, since there wasn't really many other options for getting in there without hover boots for the second part of that
What
trick.
about like standing in a spot and using C up? Would that work?
It'd be hard.
Uh,
That clip
yeah,
is
even-
incredibly precise.
How does my
Not
middle
only to
lane
clip out of
move? I don't-
bounds, but also to get the right angle so you can jump slash the wall.
So yeah, we don't really need anything here, so we just skip right to the boss. And we want to get out of this room quickly, so we kill ourselves at the same time we kill Goma.
Can we get a death count?
You will probably see the next time we...
Oh yeah, this game actually tracks deaths.
Yeah,
Okay. Shows how much I know. I forgot about that. So keep in mind we didn't beat Deku Tree yet. Even though some viewers might think we did, we didn't.
Yeah, you do need to enter the blue warp at the end of the dungeon to count it as beating the dungeon. Just because it hasn't been done yet doesn't mean it won't be done later on.
yeah. And that clip also works as a dold, but the setup is kind of a bit different. But it's still pretty convenient. And now that we have bombs, we can just do a mega flip into Zora's domain.
Yeah, we still don't have Zelda's Lullaby. Interesting.
Yeah, that ladder clip there, if you try to grab the ledge where a ladder is right at the right spot, the ladder will just clip you through the ledge. You can clip out of bounds like that, which makes it really convenient there for going from Zora's domain to Lake Hylia, which normally you're not supposed to be able to take that warp as adult because of Zora's domain being frozen.
Ladder clips only work as adult because it's based on how tall you are.
I'm sorry for this.
You know, I'm okay with this. So
Yeah, it's
This-
alright. It's a nice setup.
this is the human element in a LOTAD. This reminds us that yes, we are mortal beings. We are mortal men. Subscribe to Bake Neko on YouTube. However you say his name.
So, with the house clip, we can just swim into the loading zone to the water temple and skip getting iron boots.
And hence skip a pause to equip iron boots.
Yes.
Yeah, the pause was more important, not just like not getting the iron boots, because we totally would have got him otherwise.
So, in the same fashion we did Decotree, kinda. There's nothing we need here, so we will just go straight to the boss.
I was really getting prepared for a Tektite hover here, and I was getting excited, and then I remember you just have bombs.
See, that's the problem with bombs. We need to limit ourselves more to get more creative.
I was gonna try to use the Tektite there to like mega flip off of halfway through, but I realized it was gonna actually be slower than bombs.
Dang.
Oh, and right here, that's one of the gainers used right there to keep yourself in position here. Without it, this hover wouldn't be possible. First hover.
Yeah, usually you do this hover with hover boots and bombs, or with chews.
Like my status if that boss key skip freaked you out as a kid. Okay, I know what you're thinking. How are you going to beat Morpha without the hook shot? Or the long shot? You clearly need the long shot in order to beat Morpha.
I'm sure this fight will be very entertaining.
Yeah, the fight here actually is pretty quick. I forget what I
Spoilers.
timed it at, but it's actually a pretty fast fight.
The YOLO fight.
It took a lot, like this took like an hour and a half, 2 hours at least to do like a 20-30 second fight there just to make RNG work in my favor.
Yeah, so to do this fight without hookshot, you just have to keep going in the water, then climbing back up before Morph actually makes a tentacle. Because Morph won't make a tentacle while you're in the water.
I do
And so
get a
you just
cutscene dive off there.
I never knew that.
So you repeat that, and then you can kill Morpha without ever hookshotting Morpha.
Wait a minute, why does Morpha attach to the ceiling?
That's a good question.
I always thought it was going up back into the lake bed and filling up the lake.
Oh yeah, I guess that.
Maybe the room is really humid or something and it's like condensation stuck to the roof.
I like that lake answer. That makes you think. I'll accept that, you know? I like that.
Yeah, because I thought the idea was like Morpha stole all the lake water to like make its gelatinous body in the temple.
Fortunately, we can't skip a lot of these cutscenes since we don't have a bottle equipped. And in some cases, you know, you need a bomb and an bottle and an explosive, so we are limited in our cutscene skips.
Adult Rudo makes me so uncomfortable.
You get to see her in full 720p though, look at that.
Like, remember being a little kid and then, like, you'd just be embarrassed whenever Rudo was on the screen and your mom walked by?
Yeah, I always
It
get
was
really
the Great
uncomfortable.
Fairies.
Yeah, her and Great Fairies, I'd always like feel uncomfortable when I was playing around other people as a kid. Yet somehow Nibiru was fine. Apparently, skimpy gypsy outfit is okay.
Yeah, because at least Naburu, like, my dad would be like, hell yeah, good taste,
And
son.
at least she's wearing clothes, you know. She's drawing. But also, actually, the lake water rising here is important for later on. Otherwise, we probably wouldn't have been able to finish the run, so we actually did need to watch this cutscene regardless. Since actually beating the temple and skipping it doesn't refill the water, it just gives you the medallion.
Reminder that Ocarina of Time has a built-in cutscene skip feature that they removed from the final version of the game.
Yep, it does indeed exist in the debug ROM.
Alright, so now we're going back for the second 22.5-minute Gwei hover.
I like
Okay.
half believe you.
JK.
I half believe you. I don't even care. You can say JK all you want. Like, I have trust issues.
Yeah, man, I don't know if that's okay. That's kind of mean. It's like one of those mean pranks.
It's just a prank, bro. I'm hovering twice.
And we
Whoa, you
have
can push
silver
this block?
gauntlets.
Yeah, so because we do have silver gauntlets, we can push this block, which actually, we probably could have gotten around it by doing a double explosive clip out of bounds, but it would have been messy.
Messy's my middle name.
Also, that throwing that bomb to hit that switch there is actually really precise.
Okay, wait. So I have a question. Could you have skipped all of this by doing a second hover to the mirror shield?
As
I
actually,
think yes. It wouldn't be fast.
if we had just gone up there, we actually do need to get this key, and then we're leaving the temple right now, because later on there's the one key you'd normally get by doing the puzzle where you shine the mirror shield at the sun, but we can't equip it because that would use a pause. We have to actually get this key so that we can skip that key.
Okay.
And then we hover.
Uh-huh.
The hover's gonna happen at some point. Like, Spirit Temple's gonna be long beaten already, and they're just gonna come back here and hover for no reason.
Well, okay, here's a hover coming up.
Yeah, this time we have bombs. Only,
Thank God.
I believe, one Gwei is harmed in the making of this.
You know what?
But
I forgot bombs existed.
What's
God
one
bless
more way on a
bombs.
pile of thousands of dead ones?
Yeah, this is probably the last Gwei hover the run. Plus he lets us retarget our camera.
If I remember correctly, this hover is about 20 times as fast as the previous one.
Oh, probably.
Alright,
That's very nice
so
to hear.
you math majors in chat, 20 times faster. How long is this hover gonna take?
Actually, this hover is probably still 2.5 minutes. Maybe 2, I don't know. And then we're able to use the scene to get most of the way up here. And then some side flip and some other not so side flippy other angled hovers to kind of move backwards. It's a little bit here, but stay up above a seam, because if you do your hover here, but you end up over slanted ground, you'll get locked and won't be able to jump again. So this hover here is actually very, very precise about where you can land in your hovers and not get locked out of all your inputs. Or at least all the meaningful ones.
Like there's gonna be a pause incoming. Don't answer that.
So other than that, this temple's pretty straightforward here. We use that one key we got earlier at the bottom of the temple to open that door, since we can't do that other puzzle with the mirror shield just yet. And, luckily, we still had nuts equipped here to stun those guys, although we could have used bombs on them.
He killed that Skull Ultra with ISG.
And then it's kind of satisfying to watch him climb up these with the frame perfect inputs for up there, because it seems so smooth, like actually going through all the shifting parts.
So, as has been noted before, we have not got Zelda's Lullaby. And originally we didn't know we could do this trick, but Mubsy came up with it. And we thought we had to get Zelda's Lullaby. But then that was a whole problem that we couldn't solve.
Yeah, there's no way we can find to get ZL without a pause, this child, on top of the initial one to escape forest.
We had one theory with like a wrong warp from the Gerudo archery game using a void into the child courtyard, but then we couldn't do the hover because we didn't have the right equips. And there's like blank B if you do that.
Remember when you said the rest of Spirit Temple was straightforward? I'm not gonna speak for everyone, but I don't remember doing that in my playthrough.
Okay, up to that point there we used a ground clip through the wall with a bomb, which we jump slashed out of the ground clip, or the ledge clip, I guess, and then we end up out of bounds there where we can perform a bunch of Kikiri hovers and then an angled back clip, and actually hit the loading zone for the Naboo Knuckle room here by like a couple pixels, and literally that flip hit the bottom like right corner of the doorway. But an extra, hover or two would have made it work if we needed it to.
Now I know what everyone's thinking. How are we gonna beat Twin Rova without the mirror shield?
Yeah.
I bet everyone is thinking that.
Stay tuned.
Unfortunately, we couldn't skip this cutscene here because no way to get out of bounds. I don't know if maybe you could have hovered up and out of bounds, but that would have been a lot slower than just doing the fight normally.
Okay, so Naburu's like a teenager, but she looks exactly the same 7 years later. That's... oh my god, that makes me so mad.
There we go.
There's pause too.
So we got the pocket egg purely to equip swap the boomerang. There's no other reason for it.
So that's boomerang, bottle, hammer, and mirror shield.
Yes.
So how did you get Boomerang on Adole?
Well, thanks to this hot new trick called Equip Swap, or new if you haven't been around for like 4 months. You hover the cursor over whatever item you want to equip, you move to the map or equipment screen, then go back to the item screen, hold up left or up right, and then on the first possible frame try to equip an item, and it'll equip an item over the slot of the item your cursor first moves from the map or equipment screen, but it'll equip the item that your cursor was over before you switch screens. So the boomerang was actually equipped over the pocket egg slot. And so the pocket egg slot is normally equipable as adult, which is why the game allowed the boomerang to be equipped.
The discovery of that trick is actually what made this whole 2-pause route possible as well.
Alongside with a few other tricks.
Yeah, we had to develop a few of the things that we use in this, and you'll see them sooner or later.
Necessity is the mother of invention.
Including that boss key skip with only Kokiri boots and bombs. I don't think anyone's done it that way exactly before.
Yeah, I was surprised it only took 8 explosives actually to get it done. The first time I did it, it was like 10.
Could someone tell me why that the second phase of this boss is like 10 times easier than the first?
Good
I
question.
think to a casual, it's harder. Once the
That is
the
not
casual,
true.
once the casual finds out that Twin Roller starts, mixing up the beams, then becomes super hard because can't deal with the mix-ups. They're too hard.
She does react to the boomerang, but the boomerang leaves Link for a while, and it can be kind of annoying to actually move around while it's flying around. So you could throw it out to get quick cycles on 2 and 3, but it kind of, because the boomerang stays flying for a while, it makes your movement after that and puts after that pretty bad. So we ended up just not doing that.
If someone finds a way to skip this cutscene in particular, I will Venmo you like $100. I'm
I
sick
would
of
be
this.
sad. This is my favorite cutscene.
Alright, that's 4 dungeons done now, I think. We're halfway there.
We still have to beat Forest, Fire, Deku Tree, we have to finish, and Jabu.
Jabu.
I'm just out here wondering how on earth you're possibly gonna beat Deku Tree. Like, that just seems infeasible to me.
Well, we've already beaten everything except going in the portal there, which
Yeah,
is
but
why we
that's-
did it first.
Let's be real, that's the hardest part, walking into that blue orb.
Alright, so after this cutscene, a bit of a weird route will show up, but I will explain it as it goes on.
I'm wondering where you could possibly be going right now. Like, I don't even know if I've seen this in this particular area of the game.
Yeah, so now that we have bugs or bottle equipped, we can finally catch stuff. And so we have Shadow and Spirit Bead. So if we death warped, we would be watching the light hour cutscene. And we don't want that. So we do reverse Wasteland. Which is... I don't even think you see that anywhere in a run.
Nice.
Wait a minute, how are you gonna cross a wasteland backwards without the minimap? So that you can look at the yellow triangle to figure out where you need to go.
SCFG
Yeah, dude,
said
why'd you
like...
close the minimap? Could at least leave it open.
You'll see a lot of
This-
random mini-map flips in Dungeon Fire segments.
Is that a signature? It's like Dungeon Fire was here.
Yeah,
that
pretty
or if you
much.
see a quick spin. Pretty
Let
much
me-
any of the quick spins are him.
Let me answer the question by nerds. We have Bolero, but because we don't have bombs or hookshot equipped, we can't do anything to get out of the crater. And yeah, the reason I flick the map on and off is because I have my button, which triggers the map, bound to the same key on Joy2 key that also loads a branch or save state. So every time I load a state, it also turns off the map or on.
Also,
Here's
something
what
I talk
important
about. Go ahead.
something important to note about getting caught by the Gerudos there. If you don't have a hookshot in your inventory, then you'll always get thrown out near the tent in Gerudo Valley. And if you do have the hookshot in your inventory, then you'll get thrown in jail. So it's actually pretty important they don't have hookshot here.
You know, I was about to say that exact same thing. That's like one of my few Ocarina of Time knowledge tidbits, and you took it
That's
away
what I was
from
gonna
me.
jump in.
I'm sorry.
Also, this is why it's important the water was raised so that we can get back into into Zor's domain here. Since we don't have explosives or any way to really get in past the waterfall, we have to come in through the back.
So yeah, some of you may get an idea where we are going now, but looking at the equips, it's looking kinda dark.
Dark?
Grim, I can't speak English.
No, dark and grim are synonyms in English. I was just confused.
Okay. Thanks.
How are we gonna get into Jabu without
Yeah,
explosives?
where are you going, Dungeon?
Oh,
Yeah.
wait, yeah, that's a good question. I don't know the answer to that. Don't tell me. I want to
Oh
watch.
boy.
This is looking grim. Yeah, I would say dark. That's the proper term. Someone play the Jaws music.
Tektite transportation.
Just want to give a shout out to Marvin here for remembering that there was a Tektite on this map so that we could actually find a way in.
Yeah, we thought the run was dead, and originally our first idea was that we would have pause 2 be in the middle of the Hess, where we switch to hover boots and change equips. But then we didn't know what to do about Spirit boss key skip, and we thought it was dead. But then I came up with this idea, and Mubsy figured out how to make it work.
So yeah, what we are doing right now is we're just side hopping until we get the correct height. And then from there on we can do the second half of the trick. Or the third.
Yeah, you need like a Y value of I think under 6 here for the Mega Side Hop to work.
Yeah, so this is the way you can go into Jabu without explosives.
Yeah, so the loading zone is right below the ice but above the water, and so you need like a mega slide hop or a mega flip clip under the ice to get in there like that.
And because we don't have explosives, we use the berry to mega flip to the switch.
Nice.
And shout out to that boomerang that was stuck in the first room after you used it and then came through the wall like afterwards.
That's the thing about boomerangs. They always come back.
Yeah, the boomerang does a good job of lingering in spots.
This is my favorite remake of this. This is also like the first challenge Ocarina of Time run I've ever seen where you're not like throwing pots at Baronade to beat him.
How unfortunate.
And yeah, this fight is pretty standard, aside from doing it as adult.
And the swag slashes on the little berries since we don't have nuts. It's the only major difference there, but it looks cool.
Okay, that is one too many heart containers for this viewer.
And I'm sorry we have to watch this cutscene as adult.
Don't apologize for that. Everyone always loves watching this part.
Who
Really? They
doesn't
love
enjoy
it?
a young girl trying
Yes,
to
my
proposition
chat
a
in
17-year-old
particular
for marriage.
definitely loves it.
Remember when I said adult Rudo made me uncomfortable? Child Rudo makes me like 10 times more uncomfortable.
Especially when she's trying to proposition a 17-year-old for marriage.
Yeah, but it's okay because he's like a kid mentally, so they're like the same. You got oxygen.
Love that drop.
Luckily this time we don't need to die or anything, which is good, because that would send us back to Temple of Time, and that's not good. So, use Ocarina items here.
I appreciate the effort to not watch White Arrow cutscene.
Yeah, thanks.
Well, you know, we didn't want to do it as much for you guys as, you know, it's just slow and...
It was for me. It was just for me. And thank you, because I hate that cutscene.
Alright, so what dungeons have been done so far? So we've got Dodongo's Cavern, Jabu, Water...
Everything except for Deku, Forest, and Fire.
Alright.
And if you put all three together, you have a Deku Forest Fire.
Nice.
And that doesn't sound
Yeah.
good at all. So right here, we're just going to get the boss key, now that we have the hammer equipped to hit the switch through here. We could have alternatively just done the clip, or ledge clip, sorry, in the main fire maze room. These two things, I think, worked out to be roughly the same time. So we just figured we'd do it this way and actually get the key.
So remember earlier in the run when it was hinted that we would enter this room twice?
Yeah, this is the reason here why doing Journey Skip wouldn't have been a big deal, is that we're actually going through the door. You can't really have done that. I guess you can get them to move while you jump onto the switch for the first Goron, but we didn't have the equips to make it viable anyway.
Nancy, the point of beating Goma earlier is that you need to stun her, and we don't have the items to stun her with on this pause. We only have them on that pause, so we had to do
Yeah.
it back when we could do
You
it.
need Slingshot, Hookshot, or Deku Nuts, those are the only things that can stun Goma.
Well,
So we had to do it when we had that.
actually, Boomerang also works.
What? They told me they tried it and it didn't work. Whoever tried that's a liar.
Dang.
I didn't try it.
You know, I could have told you Boomerang works. That's like one of my 3 Ocarina of Time knowledge bombs. Alright, show's over, guys.
Right here, we're just saving a lot of our timer here. And another thing to note is that I'm only hitting her once with the hammer and then waiting to prolong her cycle. So every time you hit her with a stun with the hammer is 2 damage. And then the attacks you can do afterwards, you can do a 4 damage hit with a Master Sword. So right here, I've stunned her 3 times and done a Master Sword hit for a total of 12 damage. And then here, we're able to get in 4 Boomerang hits to bring her up to 20 damage. And then this way here, we can kill her without her going up in the air twice. These items here, since we don't have explosives for any of the other quick kills. I also tried getting a weird shot with a boomerang for like half a day and then realized it doesn't work, even out of an A slide, so that just ended up being the quickest way to beat her. I was hoping to be able to weird shot underneath and just hit her tail non-stop with boomerang, but didn't work out that way.
Can you weird shot Boomerang?
No, you can't. That's the... I think you can maybe do it as child or something, because I know I've seen it with like Link sideways.
Yeah, you can do like a sideways weird shot with Boomerang as child. But not
But
like
yeah,
underground.
even out of an A slide, I don't think it works as adult, because I tried forever and nothing wanted to work.
And yeah, so it looks like the health, the amount of health you had coming in actually did work out perfectly.
Yeah, I just purposely, made sure I adjust enough time at the end here with the amount of times I shaved off by doing time stop.
So all those hearts were indeed necessary.
No, I could have
Wait
done
a
more time stop, and it would have been fine. I didn't do time
Alright,
stop
okay.
much the whole second.
Most of them were necessary.
I'll allow it.
Yeah, I think
that was fine.
5 hearts was where I said it was realistic. 4 hearts is kind of depending on which hole she came out of, and I didn't want to deal with RNG.
So yeah, we actually had to do that wrong word, because the only way to get up here is either with hookshot or hovering, and we don't have either of those on this pause.
So why couldn't you do this temple last pause?
You'll see.
Ooh, I like that answer. It's because of this cutscene skip. No one wants to watch this cutscene.
One other thing is that one last cutscene, and then another one later are the only 2 times you'll hear us play songs during the cutscene, so make sure you listen up next time you see us doing Ocarina items.
I'm still waiting for this pocket egg to come into play.
It came into play earlier. It was for equip swap.
Oh. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
I'll
we
take
don't
it.
have Zelda's Lullaby, so we can't get the spells. So Pocket Egg's the only item that we can use for equip swap.
That was a good red herring, because like you're thinking like, oh, is it gonna like RBA or something?
Yeah. I believe Neko, when he was reading over the route for the first time, actually said, "Why did you get Pocket Egg if you didn't use RVA?" So,
What is this room?
yeah, you don't see this one often.
Are you lost?
So we got things we need to get before we can beat the temple.
should have opened that big chest just to really confuse everyone. It's like, what is this guy doing?
And we don't have hover boots, so we can't do the mega jump that would usually skip that room.
Wakaneko actually showed me a glitchless strat that you can do for getting a small key faster, but I didn't know at the time, so...
Also, the reason he didn't get the map there is because he would have just turned it off anyways, so what's the point of the map if Dungeon's not even going to use it?
I wanted to see that signature move.
Trust us, it's happening in the background. Love how he opens the door and just walks straight into the block there. Nice use of the boomerang.
So yeah, you could do a jump / recoil from this room to get the floor master key, but I didn't know at that time.
We can't use the ground jump technique because we don't have explosives, so we gotta push the blocks. Good thing we have silver gauntlets.
Are those just like normal blocks that you can always push?
No, they require a strength upgrade.
Wait, really? Wait.
Yeah.
They don't
You might
require
be thinking
silver or
that.
gold.
You might be thinking that because when you become adult, you're supposed to have Goron bracelet, and Goron bracelet is enough to push these. And the game tells you that Goron bracelet doesn't do anything as adult, but that's just a lie.
Okay. So silver gauntlets was like the replacement for Goron bracelet.
Correct.
Yeah, we don't need silver or gold for these blocks. We just need something.
Interesting. Okay, wait, so while my mind's being blown about pushing blocks, how does Link pull these?
That's a
I've
good
always
question.
wondered that. Doesn't
My
look like
assumption has
there's
always
anything to
been that
grip.
the gauntlets are really sticky.
The
just
gauntlets
like-
are covered in Dorito dust and Mountain Dew, and it just kind of sticks to it. They're gamer gloves.
What is this text box?
I'm sorry, I forgot that you can skip this one with a good roll.
Alright, everything up until this moment was okay. I was willing to look past everything. But that crossed the line.
You can still hear his map sounds in the background, even though there's no map. That lag, oh my god.
Yeah, even I'm still dealing with that.
I'm just imagining the Street Fighter death sound as they die.
Yep, floating chest for the bow.
You might be wondering, what are we getting the bow for?
That's exactly what I'm wondering.
We've already paused twice.
We can't equip the bow, that's a fact.
Yeah,
you
that's
guys
true.
didn't think this through. Now, unfortunately, we can't die or get caught by a wall master, because it'll send us back to fire.
Nice side hop.
Okay, you know what? That room coming back, I actually enjoyed that. The text, however, I didn't enjoy. Was that damage intentional?
It was, and then we realized the flaw later, so
So like you originally were gonna death warp, but then changed your mind.
It was actually mostly for a cutscene skip, and then we realized we didn't have explosives.
Nice.
Oh, interesting.
Alright, so you may know that you need to stun Phantom Ganon using either hookshot or some kind of arrows or slingshot. But we don't have the ability to equip those. So how the heck are we going to beat this?
You're gonna use arrows without equipping them. Somehow.
Somehow.
Boomerang doesn't work, by the way. You should point that out, because
Yeah,
everyone's
boomerang-
probably...
Boomerang does
Yeah,
not work
Boomerang
on
does
the...
not hit Phantom Ganon in a painting.
Yeah, it does not work on the painting phase. It does work after the painting phase, though, and it's sick.
Yeah, because they're probably like, why are you even asking that? Obviously use a boomerang. Well, guess what? You can't. So don't even think about it.
Alright, watch out, people.
Whoa, nice animation. Whoa, that was an arrow.
There it is, folks. We
What
used
happened?
the lightning bolt for action swap, and the action swap between hammer and boomerang shoots arrows, and they are real arrows, unlike between sword and boomerang.
And
Yeah,
that's why
so
you got
that-
the arrows.
And that's what the shielding the lightning was for. Shielding the lightning was to activate action swap.
All
Yeah,
the pieces are coming together.
The lightning does
You have to
multiple
fire
frames.
behind you.
Oh yeah, also, you can absolutely destroy Phantom Ganon with the boomerang, as you can tell. It's really sick.
I love that part with
But-
the boomerang.
As long as you don't spam it too fast, then he's pretty much just infinitely stuck down at the bottom.
So, yeah, you get action swap by getting quick draw, and you can get quick draw either using water or using multiple frames of shieldable damage in a row. And thankfully, also notice the floating boomerang there. Thankfully, the lightning attack from Phantom Ganon is multiple frames of shieldable damage, so we can get quick draw from it.
And I just want to note that we don't actually have a real reason to get the SAT container, aside from stopping the annoying beeping.
Yeah, Dungeon told me he wanted health for the next segment. I'm like, you want me to just get the heart container because it's quicker? So that heart container was actually just to heal.
It was just to make everyone mad that you got an extra heart container. Put in the low and LOTAD.
Teasing 100% 2-pass.
Yeah,
Also,
we know
shoutouts-
explosives.
Shoutouts to Rosewater for being the first one to get that action swap. Because we knew it was theoretically possible, but none of us were getting it, and we were like, is it not possible? For about 30 minutes, and then Rosewater got it.
I just didn't know. I'm pretty sure I had it before, and just didn't know that I had to hit hammer twice while not moving and not holding Z after to make it work. And then, after that, I was like, oh, I'm pretty sure I've seen this exact animation somewhere before, a day before.
Alright.
But Rosewater saved our butts.
Shoutouts to Mubsy for getting it but not realizing, so that Rosewater could get a shout out.
This cutscene crashes his child at this part.
Why?
I have a ZFG might know? I don't know.
My best guess is that a certain entrance just doesn't work as child when it's supposed to be adult only. But I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't
it
know
might
the
be
specifics.
that it's spawning you on that adult part of the map, as a child, and just isn't agreeing with that.
The game just gets really confused.
Yeah, the game has gotten so confused this run. Poor game.
Neon Fuzz. This task took about a little bit over a month to make.
We were in multiple time zones and alternating work, so it went pretty quick.
Yeah, I think we first started the file on like what, October like 6th or 7th, and it was like maybe the 10th or 11th of November that we finished.
Also, we've beaten everything but Deku Tree now, and then we have to beat the game after that.
But how are you gonna beat Deku Tree?
Stay tuned.
So
You
I
may
mean,
be
like,
wondering.
you don't have bombs, so
You may be wondering, where are we going?
I'm definitely wondering that.
You can see now the movement from compared to the beginning, though it's like night and day, the speed differences as we kind of got more used to everything.
We're lucky we have the boomerang equipped to do that backflip there.
I'm definitely wondering why we're here.
Oh. Oh, you don't actually show it. Okay, I'm just gonna talk about that because I love that little thing.
You can hear him.
So yeah, you boomerang one of the moblins, and they have this like crazy running animation where they run back and forth really quickly, and you're never supposed to actually see it because you're never supposed to actually be able to use boomerang on moblins, but it's really cool. So it's like an unused animation, except with glitches.
Is it actually a different animation?
Yeah, I don't think it's ever used any other time.
Yeah, because like normally hook shot will kill them. Would Decker not stun them, or?
No, deck nuts don't stun them.
I'm like really wondering why we're getting Minuet.
So yeah, people are wondering, why the heck did we just get Minuet? And better yet, why are we just playing Minuet when we're standing on the platform?
Don't explain it here.
But he's just going over the facts. Like, that was a fact. I was definitely wondering that exact same thing.
Oh, like this sounded like the implications of. Is he going to explain it?
Is he? Stay tuned.
Well, is there gonna be an explanation or not? We need some
There'll be an
answers.
explanation when you see why.
Yeah, I will explain it when it happens.
He's just telling you what to put on your taste buds. What you should be savoring right now as this gameplay unfolds in front of your eyes.
Shout
You
out
might
to
be
the sliding
wondering
guy.
again. Where are we going?
I have so many questions right now.
Yeah, we got one more stop we gotta make.
Is Link wearing Heelys?
Yeah, they're back in style again.
Optimal movement.
That was clean.
Interesting.
Clean.
Anyway, now we don't need to go to the castle.
You
Never
going
mind,
in
that was a good
circles,
idea.
Casty Sync?
Link is just thinking about it. He's like, wait, where am I going? What am I doing here?
It's
I
getting a
forgot
little
my
late.
wallet.
We should probably head home.
Forgot his wallet.
This is the point where we realize the route doesn't work out. Just kidding.
But,
So-
you know.
Oh. Oh.
Yeah.
But before Link goes home, he needs to play with the boomerang a bit. Like he's got to have some fun before he goes home and does his chores.
This is all to prepare the lore for the next low
He
pass
left the
tax.
boomerang there. It's gone. You won't see the boomerang again.
So this is all to make it night. Because after beating the forest temple, all the enemies here don't spawn anymore, but we still need a way to get into the Deku tree as adult, and we don't have explosives, so we do have to use the Skulltula, and it only spawns at night.
That was cute. I like that.
Shoutouts to Neko.
I thought that was Sundari.
Oh, maybe it was.
Let's shout them both out. They're out here
Shoutouts
changing
to
the game.
Everyone.
Not everyone. No, you can't shout out everyone because then like it's not special when the special people get shouted out. So this one's just for Sundare-chan or whatever his name is, Sundare Rar.
What's all the Pog champ about?
The Skulltula hover.
Or I guess the delays.
Yeah, that or I think maybe when I said shoutouts to everyone and everyone was pretty happy.
That too, yeah.
Well, then I took it back, so they must be upset now.
What are we doing in this room?
Okay,
I'm glad you asked.
be honest. How often do you see 2 different 2-3-1 skips in one run?
Not often.
Probably like once every 25 years. At least in my lifetime.
What? This game isn't even 25 years old.
Oh, I forgot
19
I
years
got.
old, though.
Oh,
I got
oh,
access
shut
to
up
this
and listen
game
to the
before
song.
else.
Shut up.
Nice.
I missed it.
Shoutouts to anyone who knows that song.
I have my audio muted, so I have no
Please
idea.
explain the meme.
It's
It was
Guile's theme.
Guile's theme.
Oh, okay.
It goes with literally everything.
Okay, so we learned and played Minuet just so we have the correct cutscene pointer for the Swan Warp to work.
Usually, if you're an adult, you can just pause in Goma's room, but this is 2 pause.
Oh, yeah.
That's nice. I like that. That's acceptable.
We could not do this route Ganonless, even though all dungeons allows it.
And we never found out who Sheik really is.
But wait a minute. How are we gonna do the tower collapse without light arrows? Oh, you can always do that.
You mean the times to remove the glow from the bars and maybe
Yeah.
save lag?
Yeah,
Maybe
lag
not.
reduction.
How are we gonna use lag?
Oh well, we're going. We don't need light arrows.
Tool assisted.
Just hanging out.
please take the entire 3
There we
minutes. Like, just make it... Do RNG manipulation, just make it as slow as possible.
This took
Honestly,
me
that
way
took
longer to
forever.
get used to that. Well, at least we saved like 1.5 minutes because of that.
Tool assisted kiss right there.
Is there anything left to solve?
Not really. All the dungeons are beaten, and we're at Ganon.
And we paused only twice.
But how are we gonna beat Ganon when he knocks away our Master Sword?
There you go. See, you still have something to look forward to.
Anyone who's done MST probably knows the answer, but
Alright, everyone is on the edge of their seats. They have no idea how you're gonna fight Ganon without the Master Sword.
an action swap arrows and shoot him 10 times.
Does that work?
I don't know if there's anything to
I
get
don't-
action swap
Yeah,
off of,
I don't think you get it in the fight.
because Ganon just wrecks you even if you have your shield up. I don't know if maybe, like, if he hit the rubble of something and the rubble hit your shield in the right way, maybe, but...
So, is this like Animorph's transformation ever explained in game, or
I think so.
I think this is supposed to be his like true form or something.
His last, like, dying breath and, like, using the Triforce of Power, he musters his final form.
so why does Ganon have Triforce abilities but Link doesn't?
Link's got Courage, Zelda's got Wisdom, and Ganondorf had Power.
I think I'd rather have power if I could turn into a pig.
You know,
That doesn't sound
Ganon.
useful, but I guess Link does have special power. He can like hover off of Gways and stuff. So I take that back. The answer was a hammer, by the way.
Oh, thanks.
I mean, we could have hit him 10 times with Boomerang, but we figured you guys would prefer if he just died in 3 hits.
Now I know what you're thinking. How's he gonna get the last blow on Ganon?
Without hitting the start button.
To brace himself. Or like he really had to pee. It's like, might not hold off for that long.
Alright. And that's it.
That was like 2:34 or something.
Yep, the official
2:34:14.
time on the video, yeah, 2:34:14. Alright, nice. GG.
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 So that was pretty cool. You guys have any last words you want to say?
No, just shout out to everyone who helped make it possible, either with their strats, optimizations for the route, or just putting up with our stupid questions in the Discord for the last month and a bit.
I think
Yeah,
Dungeon
I was
Fire has
gonna
the
say.
list.
What?
I thought you had the list of all the things.
Oh yeah. Um, thanks to Buck and Neko, Danny B, Figure2, and Jolin for helping with the route. Taylor and Nerds with Game for their suggestions and useful tools. And Jolin again for also figuring out the cutscene pointer for Ganondorf. And Rosewater for being the first to get action swap on Phantom Ganon. And consistently helping throughout this LOTAD.
I want to just shout out Kafta, and only Kafta. Thank you for your contributions to Ocarina of Time.
And thanks to you guys for joining us here as well, and for streaming ZFG.
No
Yeah.
problem. Always like streaming these kinds of things.
Currently working on the low A press any percent, trying to get the GIM off setup lists
Oh.
from going off the vine sideways to get the old GIM where you had to get it from doing the super swim with C up in the basement like B2, but doing that like off of the vine. So hopefully in like a month or so, maybe I'll have that done for you guys.
If you guys like LOTADs, February 21st, 2018, I will unleash a new Majora's Mask LOTAD onto the world.
Whoa.
Stay tuned.
Alright, so I guess that pretty much wraps it up.
Yeah.
So